Coming up, smoke filled the Iowa City sky yesterday, and we'll tell you why.
And we give you an exclusive look at how one City High graduate is changing the community.
Senior nights and championship season, it's time to get emotional.
And we've got the fuel for your emotions coming up in sports.
Iowa City may be on the verge of warming up. More details during weather.
All that and more is coming up in this Wednesday, March 6th edition of DITV.
Don't go anywhere, it all starts now.
Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Kaylin Clubb.
And I'm Becca Scadden.
Yesterday afternoon, a fire broke out on the corner of Clinton and Burlington Street, just across from the Boxman Music Building. At about 3 p.m., a hawk alert was issued, warning the public to stay away from the area. The fire at the Hieronymus Square construction site went on for a couple hours before firefighters were able to put out the flames. As a result, the city of Iowa City shut down Burlington Street overnight from Clinton to Dubuque. The Court Street Transportation Center was also closed overnight. This isn't the first time a fire broke out at the site. A radiator was knocked over in January, which caused another fire. There's no word yet on how much damage has been caused or what actually caused the fire. An employee from Hodge Construction, the company constructing the site, told the Daily Iowan at the point of contact that no one was available for comment. No injuries were reported in the incident.
Just days after announcing his presidential campaign, Washington Governor Jay Inslee made his first stop in Iowa. Inslee began his climate mission tour by touring a small solar energy company in Cedar Rapids. Introducing himself as the climate candidate for president, the Democratic candidate spoke extensively on climate change during his visit.
I'm the only candidate who is saying this. I'm the candidate who is committing to make defeating climate change and building clean energy jobs the number one, first, foremost, and paramount duty of the United States government. And I believe that because unless we do that, we will not succeed. So I'm the candidate who is making this commitment. And I'm also the candidate who has been getting this job done in the state of Washington, that has actually acquired experience on getting that done. Like Iowa, we've gone from zero to a $6 billion wind industry, in part because of some of my leadership working for other people to pass a renewable portfolio standard.
So far, Inslee has received $1 million in campaign contributions, and he says his #1 campaign priority will be climate change.
After several public forums and consideration yesterday, university officials announced that Montserrat, or Montse Fuentes, will become the University of Iowa Executive Vice President and Provost. Fuentes was one of 3 candidates up for the dean position. She's currently the dean of the College of Humanities and Sciences at Virginia Commonwealth University, and Fuentes will begin her role in June.
After 2 decades, Bob Kirby is stepping down from his position of Associate Director of Honors at Iowa and is now taking the full-time director's position in the Iowa Center for Research by undergraduates. Throughout Kirby's career as Associate Director, he spent 1/4 of his time doing the work of an ICRU director, which led him to the change. While Honors at Iowa have already finished the hiring process for a new Associate Director, Kirby will stay until April to help the transition.
All right, Becca, it's March. I think winter can let up a little, don't you think so?
The temperatures these past couple days have been absolutely brutal, but I heard Abby might have some good news for us. Let's toss over to her and weather to see.
Well, ladies, just a few days ago, the temperatures were dipping below 0 with the highs not too far away. But this upcoming week might have that turnaround we've all been waiting for. As for this morning, we're looking at a high of 29 degrees with partly cloudy skies throughout the day, with just a few more clouds coming in at night as the low drops down to 10 degrees. If we're going to move on to the extended forecast, our graphic does have the days a little mixed up, but the temperatures are going to stay true to order. Thursday is going to be slightly colder with the high at 27 degrees and a low of 22 with cloudy skies all day. Friday we get above freezing with the high at 36, but cloudy skies all day again and a low of 30 that night. We start to see things warm up even more as we move into Saturday afternoon, which has a high of 44, but also 100% chance of rain, which is expected to accumulate to ½ inch. Saturday night, that rain stops but keeps the clouds in the sky for a low of 31. Sunday, we still have a high in the mid-30s with a little bit of wind and some overcast skies at night. And last, we have Monday with some sunny skies and a high in the mid-30s with the low in the mid-20s. Now, we can see that most of next week is going to stay above freezing, so let's just keep our fingers crossed that it stays that way. Back to you ladies at the desk.
One City High graduate has taken his passion for fashion into his own hands. DITV News reporter John Chenoweth has the story.
If you find yourself driving down Highway 1 West, you may have noticed a fairly new clothing store. Recent City High School graduate 18-year-old Marquise Johnson started his own clothing line named Finer Streetwear and opened his store in November of 2018. Johnson took some business classes in high school and always knew he wanted to be his own boss.
So when I was in junior high, I always knew like I wanted to be my own boss. So I knew didn't want to work for, corporate America my whole life. So after I graduated high school last year of 2018, I had went on a college tour trip that I go on every year. So I decided to, after that tour, to start my own clothing line. I ended up launching the website in August of 2018 and then opening the store in November of 2018.
Johnson says his main customer base consists of people he personally knows and customers online. He sells clothing that he thinks fits his age group trends and by what he himself likes.
I like streetwear. Like, I don't like casual. Only time I like casual if I'm doing, something that's, business related. But other than that, I wear jogging pants all the time, ripped jeans, stuff like that. So these are jeans. These are one of my favorite ones actually right now. Then jean jackets.
Johnson understands that running your own business does pose some challenges.
Challenging, I think, is, getting people in. Like, trying to get a demand, spread the word. That's been the biggest challenge for me, I think.
Depending on how sales go this year, Johnson plans on moving locations for his store. You can follow Finer Streetwear on Instagram at FinerStreetwearCo_, and you can check out his clothing line website by searching Finer Streetwear. I'm John Chenoweth. I'm reporting from Finer Streetwear for DITV News.
President Trump has notified both India and Turkey that they will be removed from the U.S. trade agreement called Generalized System of Preferences. Countries inside the GSP agreement are exempt from tariffs on select goods being exported to the United States. India's import tariffs on the U.S. and Turkey's growing economy were amongst other reasons behind Trump's decision. Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley publicly expressed his disapproval for Trump's actions.
The president has needlessly caused himself a political and legal problem that isn't necessary, because about 1/2 of the money out of the $8 billion, maybe a little bit less than half of that money, but it's still a big chunk of money, he already has authority under existing law. So maybe the president's doing us a favor by putting all these tariffs on that stretches congressional intent of 1962 trade legislation, and maybe showing out Congress has delegated too much authority under national emergency to get Congress to review it. He may be doing the whole Constitution and our whole system of government a favor.
And India and Turkey's removal from the GSP will not be effective immediately, with trade officials allowing up to 60 days to make the transition. Becca, basketball season is winding down, but luckily there's still a lot of Hawkeye sports to dive into.
Yeah, we got swimming and gymnastics still in full swing, so let's toss it over to Natalie and Marissa in the sports studio with more on that.
Yeah, you guys are right. Championship season is hitting with full force this month and led off with the men's Big Ten swimming and diving championships late last week.
While the Hawkeyes finished 8th, the team is loaded with freshmen and has a bright future ahead of them. DITV sports reporter John Rawson has the story.
When a Hawkeye fan looks at the results of the men's swimming and diving Big Ten championships, it's easy to see an 8th place finish and write off this team. However, the Hawkeyes have their eyes on the future. Multiple freshmen competed well, including the leadoff of the now school record 4x2, Alexei Tarasenko.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we see Alexei lead off with a world-class time, really, that 42. And then across the board, to see these young guys step up. There were some nerves up front.
Head coach Mark Long also loved hosting the meet so fans could see the future in action, but knows that contributed to the nerves.
However, being at home, I think for sometimes provided a little extra anxiety for some with everything going on. And once they settled in, they started tearing it up. And I thought today was a great example. I think if you really broke down the points compared to teams, which we do, we were right up there.
These Hawkeye freshmen stood their ground as one of the best freshman classes in the entire Big Ten, and they can't wait to see what the future holds.
As a class, we're doing really well, and we're adjusting really well, and I honestly can't wait for years to come to see what the other guys can do and what we can do as a class. It should be exciting.
Hawkeye fans should keep the swimming and diving team in their side view mirror, as you never know what they could do in the future. Reporting from the CRWC, John Rawson, DITV Sports.
Marissa, it should be fun to see how the team develops in the future.
Yeah, and maybe John should cover swimming until he learns how to swim.
Well, let's take it easy on him because women's gymnastics hosted ISU last weekend and neither of us can do those flips.
That's true. I guess that's why we're here and not on the team. But women's gymnastics beat reporter Allie Green has the scoop on a special senior night against the Clones.
The Gymhawks came in hot for their meet this past Friday against Iowa State. Not only was it their last meet at home, but this night would also become a final performance at Carver for some. The team celebrated their seniors' last appearance on the mat with the annual senior night meet.
I just really wanted this meet as a whole to be a great night for our seniors, and as soon as they were done with their events, I was just tearing up on the inside, but I didn't let that show. When Misty was done with beam, I was so happy for her. When Sid made her beam routine, when Chowie made that amazing bar routine, I was just really happy.
It was a historic night with the team topping an incredible score of 196, the second highest score of this season, and senior Misty J. Carlson earned a season's best of 9.8 on vault.
I think we just all went out there and wanted to have fun. We took each event one by one, stayed in the moment, focused on each routine as it goes. I think we did a great job tonight. It was a lot of fun. Even though senior night's over, so we are not done.
All 5 seniors had been awarded academic All-Big Ten and were recognized as incredible athletes, but also for being leaders to their teammates. Before heading on the road, the Hawkeyes celebrated their seniors' last home meet with a bang. Reporting from Carver Hawkeye Arena, Allie Green, DITV Sports.
Speaking of seniors, star senior Jake Brudazon helped propel the men's gymnastics team to a 3-point victory over Nebraska this Saturday.
DITV Sports Director Lucy Rodine has more on this passionate leader.
I just like to have as much fun as possible.
Every time Iowa captain Jake Brudazon is out competing, you know one thing for sure. He is having fun.
I mean, he's definitely the most cheerful guy, giving everyone good spirits. You see him at the end of an event after a stick, he's jumping up and down more than anyone else is.
He's just a little fire plug, right? So he brings so much energy to the team, and as a captain this year, he's really helped us turn around a lot of the team's mentality and the work ethic and all those things, and he does a good job of leading by example and teaching everybody what needs to be done.
Brudazon uses all his energy to teach an important lesson.
I just want to be that person that they elected, I want to be there for them, I want to pick them back up, I want to hype them up, I want to be there for whatever they need.
And sometimes what they need is just a whole lot of energy.
I know sometimes it can be a little bit much, but I just think the more energy you're putting into it, the more fun you're having, the less you're thinking about how stressed you are and how hard it is, and you really get to enjoy it, especially as a senior. That's all I want. I just want to enjoy my last year.
And after taking home 2 event titles against number 5 Nebraska, enjoying it is easier than ever. Reporting from the Fieldhouse, Lucy Rodine, DITV Sports.
Well, that's all we have time for today in the sports studio, but be sure to come back tomorrow for a glimpse into a gymnastics practice.
Becca and Kaylin, back to you at the desk.
Thank you for tuning in to this Wednesday morning edition of DITV.
For more of the Daily Iowan, make sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And if that isn't enough, you can pick up the print edition of the Daily Iowan on stands now. For DITV, I'm Kaylin Cluck.
And I'm Becca Scadden. Have a great day, Iowa City, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning, same time, same place.